I'm sitting here with comedian. This is where you come in with your name.
I'm supposed to say my name? You say my name.
I know how to say it.
Say it.
Christian Finnegan.
No, it's like, because the way he made it sounds like I don't know who this guy is.
No,
like,
I do.
It reminds me, the way you just said that reminded me of like when my wife and I will bump into somebody whose name I don't remember, and I'll kind of be like, hey man, what's going on? You met my wife, right? And then I'll wait for my wife to be like, oh, I'm Cambry, because she knows that I'm bad. Yeah. And then that's how I'll find out the guy's name. Because you're like, I'm here with comedian. What's your name? No, that's right. Yes.
We're here at Desales for your show.
Yes.
Is this the first time you're here?
It is my virgin foray into the Desales campus area.
Yes. And by the way, I am Jewish.
That's a callback to a joke earlier in the show.
The joke, for anyone that was here that will see this, and for anyone that wasn't here, obviously, the joke is...
Well, it's just basically that there's nothing more funny than when a comedian explains his jokes. But just that, people always find it hilarious to be like, oh, you're Christian, I'm Jewish. And I think that the first person to ever make that joke, and I've heard it about 1 million times.
See, but it's not only a joke, but it's also fact, because I really am Jewish, and I'm one of the only at this Catholic.
Well, I was going to say, I guess in Lehigh Valley area, that is a remarkable factoid.
It is a remarkable feat. How many churches did you see along the way?
A number, but I blocked those out. Yeah. But it is weird that you do go to. Why, as a young chosen person, did you decide to go to a Catholic school?
I actually just transferred here last semester, and
from an Arabic university.
Yes.
You're hitting all the major religions just to.
Yeah, I wanted to check out, see if I was in the right one, see if we really were the chosen people.
Mm-hmm.
Turns out we are.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I mean, come on.
You're what were you chosen for, Eric?
It's life. Living.
Okay.
It's all we need to be chosen for.
All right.
Resilience actually would probably be the best one.
Fortitude, I believe, would be the word to describe the history, of the Jewish peoples of this world.
Yeah.
Fortitude.
I'd say
Constitution.
So. Just don't add camp at the end.
That's actually not bad. Constitution camp.
You see, he's not the only comedian here.
That's right.
He's just the only one.
This guy,
huh?
Mr. Count Wackenstein here.
I know. You're the only one that gets paid to do it, though.
That is true. Meagerly paid, but paid. I was supposed to be on the road this whole month, January and the first half of February, but I had to cancel most of those shows because I am currently working on a situation comedy television show for the TBS network. A small show that is going to be airing in this late spring, and so we've been shooting those. So I've been in the New York area for the whole. But I was able to come to this show because it was on Saturday.
And it's on TBS?
It will be on TBS, yes. It is actually, and this is going to sound like I'm joking, I'm not. I am in a TV version of the Ice Cube family film, Are We There Yet? It's being turned into a TV show, and I am playing like the white guy on it.
The one and only?
Pretty much. Because it's like, it's like a black family sitcom.
It's kind of like when you were on the Haftel show.
Yeah, there's something about me that people just think it's funny.
The white guy.
There's something that people just think it's funny to watch me interact with black people. There's something inherently comedic about that. I don't know what it is, because I'm just the whitest person in the world, I think.
Now, how did you get into the comedy thing? Were you just born funny?
All that preparation, and that's the question. Oh yeah,
that's one of the questions.
I prepared by Googling the phrase corniest comedian interview questions of all time.
Well,
no. I'm just busting your balls, Eric.
I know. You do a good job of it.
Your chosen balls. I started comedy a couple years after graduating college, which is later than a lot of people.
Usually they do it instead of college, but
yeah. I mean, so in a way, I sometimes wish that I'd started when I was younger, but I feel like if I had, I wouldn't have a life to talk about. I feel sometimes when I meet people who start comedy when they're like, oh, I've been doing comedy since I was 16 years old, they might be very skilled at what they do, but they don't really have any perspective on life because they've never had a real job, or they've never just lived as a normal person, And so I am very thankful for my experiences in being in college, and I worked in publishing for a couple of years, and temped and waited tables. I was at a literary agency.
Okay.
I would read like, I'm a retired Air Force colonel, and I've written a spy thriller, and I would have to read it and then write the letter being like, your book isn't very good. But yeah, I started comedy mostly just because I was bored. When I went to college, I thought I was going to be an acting student, and then I didn't really enjoy that world. And then I graduated as a playwriting student, and then after college, I worked in publishing because I thought I was going to be like a writer at night, like work in publishing, and then be a writer. And I missed performing, and I'm not, to be like a real, just a writer, like a novelist or, you know, a nonfiction writer, a memoir writer, or whatever, you have to really lock yourself in a room for months and months at a time, and I just didn't have that kind of discipline. So comedy is kind of like a nice mixture of the two, where you're performing, which I enjoy, but it's your stuff. You're not just waiting around for somebody else to give you an opportunity. It's the nice thing about being a comedian as opposed to an actor, I think, is that you can always just do it. Even if you're just going to open mics, you can always try to get better. Whereas, you know, I have friends who are actors who haven't acted in a year because it's like they haven't gotten cast in things or whatever. So that's kind of, I didn't really know it's what I wanted to do until I tried it, and then I loved it. Even when it went really badly, I had this feeling of like, I need to do it again soon to get this awful taste out of my mouth. You know, it was never a thought of like, I'm just going to stop doing this. So.
Now, where did you go to college? Because I honestly didn't know you went to college.
I went to.
I think it's the assumption, comedian.
Yeah.
Clearly didn't go to school because.
You know what? I understand what you're saying, but I find that to be 50-50. Really.
Well, no, I mean I've met a lot of comedians that have gone to college. Then I think you could tell the difference though, because a comedian that is funny but will also use, not to say intelligent words.
Well, there's definitely. I will say that there's certainly a different perspective among certain comedians. I always have this very sloppy analogy that I use, like, and I apologize for the use of derogatory terms. It's fine. There are kids who grow up spending their entire childhood calling other kids fag, or queer, or retard, or whatever. And then there are kids who spend their entire childhood being called queer or fag or retard. And even among comedians, there are those two types of people. There are those comedians who are just, they're ball busters, you know. And some of them are really funny. I'm not saying that they're none of, like, you know, guys like, you know, Nick DiPaolo or, you know, Patrice O'Neill or Colin Quinn or Jim Norton, you know, like, there are a lot of guys who are really funny, but they come from it from a different place than somebody like me, I think, you know, or somebody like a Eugene Merman or Dimitri Martin or something like that. I'm somewhere in the middle, probably. But even in comedy, there's sort of, I wouldn't say that one group is better educated than another, but it is a slightly different perspective, a different point of view.